And Top Story is always brought to you by Vodafone. Together we can. Tonight, there shall be no delay in passing the anti-gay bill as the Speaker of Parliament makes it Parliament's top priority on his first day back from recess. In fact, the sitting of the Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs Committee considering the bill will be public. And the Speaker is emphatic. He wants the public to know the stance of every single member of Parliament on this particular bill.
I know Ghanaians are expectant, and I know we have over 100 petitions before the Committee of Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs, but we'll try not to allow any filibustering of this bill, because it's not only Africa. The whole world is looking for the outcome of this bill. And so we will not just allow people to come and try to delay the process. We'll make the process public, and I support what the majority leader said. The sitting of the committee will be public, and the decision of this House will be public. We will want to know where each member of Parliament stands.
Well, the Speaker of Parliament was also clear that whatever bill is finally passed into law must reflect the values of the people.
As Ghanaians, I want to plead with us to accommodate the views of others, whatever perceptions they have, and let's maintain the peace and coolness of mind and heart. The Parliament of Ghana is capable of handling the situation. I will assure citizens of this country that we will create the enabling environment for all to put across their views. At the end of the day, the processes of the House will determine the outcome. And when that is done, I am very convinced that the law that will come out of all this evening will protect the culture and values of our people and the Ghanaian identity. It's a law, I believe, that will also take into consideration the human rights and freedoms that have been guaranteed under our Constitution. And it's a law that it will take into consideration
Just joining me right now, I want to take you to Parliament live right now. Joining me is the chairman of the Parliamentary Legal Affairs Committee in Parliament, Kwame Enyimadu-Antwi. Mr. Enyimadu-Antwi, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you, sir. Good evening, and good evening to your listeners.
Great to have you. Just before we go into that, here a few of your colleagues have been speaking to us. My colleague, who is a parliamentary correspondent, Parker Wilson, is with us on the telephone line. Parker, you were on the floor when all this played out. How did the Speaker arrive at this decision that the committee's work is going to be in public?
Okay, so Evans, in the Speaker's welcome address, he actually highlighted the things the House of what they'll be doing this meeting. So in the course of that, he chipped in the anti-LGBT bill, which is currently before the committee, and proceeded to make his point about the decision of the House will be made public, and even the committee sitting will be made public. However, I did not see any kind of consultation between him and the leadership of the House. Sometimes, even before the public sitting, the Speaker, together with the leadership of the House, agree on certain issues. So one perhaps may conclude that maybe there has been a discussion between the Speaker and the leadership of the House. This is the majority leader and the minority leader. And for that matter, the Speaker now decided to announce it publicly to the media and, of course, those who had been to the gallery to witness the business of the day, that indeed the sitting and the decision by Parliament on this matter will be made public.
And I wonder, so what's Chairman Sabonsu's reaction to this?
Well, for him, he doesn't disagree with the Speaker. In fact, the Speaker at some point actually indicated in his pronouncement that he agrees with the majority leader that the sitting has to be public. But for Mr. Chairman Sabonsu, when he was responding to the comment, expressed a bit of anger and quite concern about some position taken by members of the House, with reference to the fact that they are suggesting that Parliament has been engaging in some untoward activities, want to conduct this bill or the business of this matter in secrecy. And that is what he didn't, and that is what he wasn't too happy about, and cautioned the members of Parliament to make sure that at all points they propagate the good things that they are doing in the House.
It is rather unfortunate that on holiday it was made to appear as if when bills come before this House, there is a cabal that meets somewhere in camera and decide on the fate of a bill. That certainly is not anything that has ever happened in this House. Every bill is considered first at the committee level before it gets submitted to plenary. And it's never happened that the consideration of any bill is being in camera. So, Mr. Speaker, when people begin to talk to that issue, that, let there be sunshine on the consideration of the bill, I wonder what people are talking about. Because the consideration of every bill is here in plenary. The TV cameras are here. They have always been here. So for people who raise issues and make it appear as if we consider saying in some quiet place outside the chamber and then nobody sees what goes on, the Speaker, really, an unfortunate picture is painted outside.
Parker, the minority of the Haruna Drisu makes a very interesting demand of the committee that he expecting them to lead this charge to pass the anti-LGBTQ bill.
Yes, he was clear in his mind that they should live up to expectation, because certainly a lot of Ghanaians are interested in the outcome or the decision that will be taken by Parliament, and he, as the minority leader, is expecting the committee to do a thorough job and ensure that the completion of the report would indeed reflect the values and the norms of the Ghanaian society.
Will engage appropriately the people of Ghana and the petitioners. Mr. Speaker, it is not for nothing that Article 106 provides that bills are gazetted for purpose of elucidating input from the public. And it should not stay for outstanding orders more than 3 months within the committee. We expect the Committee of Constitutional Legal to lead Parliament living up to that litmus test of an anti-LGBTQI legislation and nothing more. One that reflects our values, our morality, and the wishes of the generality of our society. How I wish I added that those who dare doubt what the position of Ghana will be on this matter probably could have examined or tested it at a referendum.
So that is Haruna Drisu. Let me bring in now the chairman of the committee that is going to work on this. Are you with me?
Good evening.
Yes. Let me ask you, are you feeling the pressure tonight, this morning, all the way to today, all the things that happened in Parliament? Significant part of that was all about the work you're about to do. Are you feeling the pressure?
Not at all. All the three leaders that you actually played their voices, what they have said is in order. Nobody is lying. Nobody is making any false statement. All that they have said is the truth. And let me start from the Honorable Haruna Idrisu said that they expect the committee to actually go through this bill bill and report to the plenary because they have to lead the plenary. The Honorable Chairman Sambunsu also says that the impression is being created that we're going to do it in camera. But when we finish, we would actually bring it. Every bill is considered at the plenary of the House and cameras are there. The Speaker made two statements. The Speaker says that we have to pass a bill that would express the values and sentiments of the population. But before he finished, he said that we must do that in accordance with Chapter 5 of the Constitution. I'm talking about fundamental human rights, that it should not go in conflict with the fundamental human rights. Now, fortunately, we have received a number of petitions, and our responsibility is to go through these petitions because we want to be educated, and then when we are done with that, we would sit and deliberate and see what is lawful and what is not lawful. And then we'll submit a report to the plenary. So it is a very simple job.
The Speaker of Parliament today announced that your committee's sitting will be in public. You're in favor of that?
It is for the committee to decide.
The Speaker has decided for you. He announced it. He didn't say it's open to debate.
Well, I didn't hear I didn't hear him say that. Maybe it escaped me. But I do not think that once the public is interested in that, what the Speaker is referring to is probably when we are hearing the petitions, because we're going to invite them and hear them. But when the committee itself sits to actually deliberate on our own, that one will be in camera. So what the Speaker is saying is talking about the fact that we are going to invite the people that have submitted their petitions. And that one, if they want the cameras to be there, we don't have a problem.
So that you will grant. The public sitting will be in public.
I'm very sure. But the committee, I've scheduled a meeting on Thursday. And that meeting, for instance, the public is not invited. We are just going to look at the modalities, and when we are done with that, we'll let you know what you have to do. The modalities, not only for the LGBTQ, but for other bills that are before us. We are just going to decide on how to go about them, when to organize meetings, and whatnot. So it's not every meeting of the committee that would be in camera. No.
Harun Edrisu made the point today that under the rules, no bill should be before a committee for more than 3 months. You're going to respect that.
Oh yes, we're going to respect that.
Do you have any timelines? Is this going to come to the floor for debate before December when you rise again?
I cannot predict that because the number of petitions that we have received are numerous, and we need to hear everybody. So saying that within 3 months the bill should be passed, I'm hopeful. We want to do that, but I'm not sure. Now, looking at the practicalities of it, we could do that. The other time, I granted an interview to one of your personnel, and I took her through. That was if I took her through the processes that we have to go through, and I'm not sure that we could do that. But there are ways around it. It is not, and I told MFA, through MFA, I told the public that people are expecting that when Parliament had resumed today, we were going to pass the bill today. That is the challenge. It's not going to happen that way. We will do our best. But the committee must sit and then read and listen to the petitions that are before us. And then the committee will make a decision, and then we'll send it to the plenary, and all Ghanaians will know what we've done.
I mean, when Harun Edrisu says that he expects the committee to lead the litmus test of passing the anti-LGBTQ legislation. He suggested that all he expects you to do is to recommend this passage. Is that your understanding of your work as well?
Well, you rightly put it that Haruna Idrisu expects the committee to do this. But because it's an expectation, we may either meet his expectation or we may not meet the expectation. If we have to go through the process, we have to go through that. If we have to look at the law, we have to look at the law. If we have to look at the Constitution, we have to look at the Constitution. And the existing law, too, we have to look at what is pertaining. And we look at the contents of the bill. And then we'll draw a report and send it to the plenary of the House. It is not for us to conclude on that. We can conclude on our report. But the generality on decisions that we have to take would be the decision of the House.
The Speaker says something today I want to run by you. He says that he wants the process to be run in such a way, process towards a passage, that the position of every member of parliament is known by the public. You agree?
Every member of parliament will
yes.
always be known, because we would have to vote at the plenary of the House, and the public will see what we do.
When do you hope that the public sittings will begin?
As soon as practical.
Next week, next 2 weeks?
Yeah, it shouldn't go beyond 2 weeks. We are meeting, I don't want to preempt the meeting on Thursday, but we are meeting on Thursday, and then we'll take a decision. Then a decision would, like I said, there are other bills that were with us before this one. Well, we've realized that the public is very much interested in this particular bill. So the proposals would come. Do we consider this first, or do we consider this second, and whatnot? The committee members would have to help me so make a decision on that. And then we'll go by our timetable.
I mean, what you just said begs the question. In the order of priority, how high is this ranking? Is it your number one topmost priority?
That would be the decision that the entire committee would take. That's the Committee on Constitutional, Legal and Parliamentary Affairs.
I'm grateful, sir. That is the chairman of the committee responsible for considering all the petitions and memoranda that had come before them as far as the anti-LGBTQ plus bill is concerned. And if you're just joining us, top story this hour, the Speaker of Parliament is emphatic tonight that the proceedings leading to the passage of this bill will be public, including the sitting of the committee. He wants the position of every single member of parliament known. He says he will not entertain any delays whatsoever in the passage of this particular bill. And this was the first day of Parliament's return after the recess, and he says this is the top priority as far as he's concerned. I want to bring in, call him the chief sponsor of this particular bill, and you won't be wrong. He is Sam George. He joins us on the telephone line right now. Mr. George, thank you for your time here on Top Story.
Thank you, Evans. Good evening.
It must please you that the Speaker says this process is going to be public, including the sitting.
Well, I think that it's what the people of Ghana have called for. Parliament serves at the behest of the people. There's a lot of public interest in this matter, and it would not serve any purpose for us to shroud it in secrecy. And so, yes, we will. It's a welcome development. But like Honorable Ayimedu said, I listened to your conversation with him. The committee has always indicated that they would engage stakeholders publicly, and Parliament's debates will be public. I mean, what's most telling from the Speaker's position this afternoon or this morning was on the voting and the modalities for the voting, and how it's not going to be a secret ballot, but it's going to be an open public ballot that everybody knows where every MP stands on an issue, on any issue there. So I think that it's healthy for our democracy. And even persons who are against the bill should welcome this, because this gives them the opportunity to have supporters, possible supporters they may have in the House espouse their positions. So yeah, it's transparent.
But
think it's about the same.
I wonder if that is fair. Also because I watch Parliament. Not every bill that comes before you is this. There's a strict requirement, and the speaker actually makes his pronouncement that I want the public to know everyone's stance on the matter. Is different rules governing this almost.
Well. This is a matter of huge public and national and international interest, and so this is not like just any other bill that people really have no interest in. The Ghanaian people have an interest in this, and if they have an interest, we need to serve it. And so it is only fair. You may not. And look, if you sit where I sit, you would be grateful for what the speaker is doing, because the other side is not playing fair. And let me do this for the first time, using your platform as a big platform, to call out the CDD Ghana. The CDD Ghana is inviting senior journalists, and I'm sure you're a senior journalist. I'm sure you yourself have been invited to a secret meeting to lobby senior journalists to push the agenda of the LGBTQ. And in that letter, let me read exactly what they say. Kindly note that this meeting is strictly by invite and also not for news purposes. Since when did the CDD start meeting senior media personality on issues and make it clandestine? If they had nothing to hide, then whose agenda are they pursuing? They would not be doing this clandestinely. We have nothing to hide. Parliament is going to be transparent, unlike the CDD and like-minded organizations who are clearly prosecuting an agenda. But we will stick to it. We will be transparent, and everybody will have a say. And ultimately, the majority will carry the day.
Mr. George, indeed, I have an invitation to that meeting. First of all, it's not CDD, it is Human Rights for All Ghana, Gannett, I think it's called. That is what.
Well, if you say you have a copy of that letter, who signed the letter?
Well, of course, it's signed by Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement. But you called it a secret meeting.
No, wait, Evans, hold it. You've called what I said into disrepute. We're on live radio.
Yeah, it's
the
signed by
letter you
Director
have
of
was
Advocacy.
signed by somebody.
Yes.
It was signed by Kojo P. Asante, PhD, Director of Advocacy and Policy Engagement, CDD Ghana. That's how the letter is signed.
Yeah, but
yes or no?
But this is a human.
Is that how your letter is signed or not?
I mean, wait a minute. I have a letter here. I mean, it's signed by somebody, but it's a question about whether it's the CDD that is organizing this. Because I see on this letter, CDD, Amnesty International, there are at least 5 or 6 organizations that have come together to form a human rights group on this matter. So it's not really accurate to say CDD. That's the point I'm making.
Well, CDD, you talk about it. There's a CDD, which is the first on the letterhead. There's Amnesty International. There's quite a number of them. But the question is, who signed and invited you?
I get that, but you know what I'm saying. You may have signed it.
Don't belabor the point.
You may have signed it, but it's not CDD. CDD is part. The CDD individual signed it. That's just
the director of policy and advocacy at CDD has invited you as a senior journalist, true or false, to a program.
The human rights group had invited me, signed by Kojo Asante.
Who invited you? Who signed the letter? I mean, let's not do this. It's delivering the point. The letter was signed by somebody. Who signed it? Was it signed by Mr. Kojo Asante of CDD? Yes or no?
I mean, I think so. But you call this a secret meeting? It's not. I mean, this is a very an invitation-based letter. It can't be secret, is it?
The line I read to you, how did you interpret it?
No, you said at the beginning that they've invited. This is a secret invitation. It can't be.
Is it an open engagement? Has every media person or every anchor been invited? And why are they insisting that it is strictly by invite and not for news purposes, that it must not make the news? Is that the way invitations from the CDD that have come to you, or any of these organizations that you've covered their stories? When you cover stories from the CDD, do they tell you it's not for news purposes?
To be fair,
do they tell you that it's strictly by invitation?
No, to be fair.
When Amnesty International invites you, do they do that?
To be fair, I've received invitations from.
I'm just saying. Let's put this in perspective.
No, it is, and I am.
Imagine that Parliament decided that we were going to do our meeting on this bill and say that we're doing it strictly by invitation and not for news purposes. How will they react to it?
No, but Sam George, let's just be factual. CDD in other programs, and this is not the first time they've invited based on strict invitation to certain individuals, and it's a consultative conversation. It's happened many times. This is not the first. I don't see this as extraordinary at all.
Well, go to the meeting and find out what they want to tell you, and then when they finish telling you, come and you owe a duty to your listeners to come and tell us what they told you.
I'm grateful
because the thing says media engagement on proposed promotion of proper human sexual rights and Ghanaian Family Values Bill 2021, and they intend to push a certain agenda using you in the media, and that's what I'm saying to you, that you have a responsibility with your colleagues when after attending that meeting and be fair to the issues. That's all I'm saying.
Sam George, I'm grateful that you joined us. By the way, just for clarity, because it came up, I need to read what the letter says. It says, the Human Rights Coalition. So this is a human rights coalition led by the Ghana Center for Democratic Development, CDD, is therefore organizing this meeting to have an in-depth conversation with senior media practitioners with considerable reach and influence on how best the media can adopt a rights-based approach in their reportage on issues affecting the community. It also seeks to contribute to enhancing the respect for fundamental human rights of LGBTQ plus community. So this is a human rights coalition, obviously led by the CDD, that had put this, this consultative meeting together. First of all, let me hear from you on this and all the other things you've heard from Parliament on its first day back from recess. 055 111 997. News night starts now.